Pleased to have one of my mentors in life with us this evening, and a guy that certainly is no stranger to anyone, a longtime educator and high school principal in Clay County, but still in the education business as today, Mr. Mike White. In this program right now, we're going to talk about one of the crowning jewels, a gem here in our county, in our city, and that is the Clay County Historical Society. Mike, welcome on.
Well, thank you, Earl. We appreciate the invitation to be on tonight. We always welcome the opportunity to promote our historical society here, and as you see in the background, our new Clay We Were Museum. We're very proud of both of these facilities, and would like to invite anyone and everyone in the county, and even outside the county, if they have not visited us, to do so. We're pretty proud of what we have here, and we think people would really enjoy coming to see us. We're an organization that's thriving here in the county. Our historical society has nearly 600 members. We're represented in more than 40 states, and so our popularity right now is quite high, and we're thankful to our members for that, and our citizens of the county for their support. So. We're pleased to have the opportunity to be with you tonight and promote our facility here.
Well, each and every Thursday, the Clay County Historical Society is open. Also, Clay We Were Museum is open. And for folks that have not had the opportunity, and I've been down here 2 or 3 times and was actually here for the grand opening. And if you want to use the term immaculate, that's exactly what we can refer to when we talk about this museum. This is second to none. We have people that spend millions of dollars through private donations in the big city that does not come close to what we have here in Manchester. And you want to see the roots and the history of Clay County, certainly you need to come by and check this out.
Well, like I said, we're pretty proud of it. We spent several years planning our museum. Of course, it took some fundraising, and we worked with a design team from Cincinnati, Kramer Design. We didn't have a very large space, so we wanted to make it as efficient as possible and get as much out of our space here as we could, and we feel like we've accomplished that. Folks were and still are very generous in their donations to our museum. Of course, we don't have the space to include everything, but we've included most of what people have brought us, and we feel like it tells the story of Clay County pretty well. Of course, it's an ongoing facility. It will be updated several times, and as artifacts and donations come in, we will add them if they're worthy of being in our museum. And we're always welcoming folks to come in and to donate if they have something they think is relevant to the history of our county. But we did spend a lot of time, a lot of planning. There's a lot of people that were involved in this, and we're pretty proud of how it turned out, and the response from the patrons who have visited has been very, very positive.
I know we talk a lot about tourism in our city and county and what that means economically. I want to say something, and I don't know if a lot of people have talked about this, but one of the number one tourist attractions in this county is this museum and the Historical Society, because you mentioned you have members all across the globe. A lot of those members come here to research a family tree or just to learn about the times that they heard their grandparents talk about growing up in Clay County. So from that aspect of it, also, it brings a lot to the local economy when these folks come. A lot of them stay in the motel here or bed and breakfasts, and with families some do. But certainly that pays good dividend back to our city and county.
Absolutely. Last year we had more than 1,500 visitors here to our Historical Society, and we're only open 2 days a week. After the COVID-19, we're only open 1 day a week now, but by being only open 2 days a week, that sort of limits our time, but yet we still were able to welcome more than 1,500 visitors last year, and easily more than 500 of those, I'm sure, were from out of county or out of state. So if you want to look at it that way, maybe not all at one time, but this visit, that visit, here and there. There wasn't a Thursday or Friday that we didn't have folks here, and they come from all over the country. You just never know what state they're going to be from when they show up. About a month before the virus hit, there were 22 people in here on a Thursday. 12 of those 22 were from out of state, and out of those 12, there were 9 different states represented here at one time. So it's just an example of the interest that there is in history and genealogy, and especially Clay County history and genealogy. And we're glad to have those visitors, and we seem to be having more and more every year, and I'm sure the museum this year will help add to those numbers.
Folks can be a part of the Historical Society. There's membership that you can do, and what that does with the membership, it not only gives you access to the whole set of research that is in here, but the museum, and also you print one of the best magazines in the business, the Ancestral News, which I love when I get mine. Got a spring and fall. Of course, I've been a member here of the Historical Society. Love it dearly. Don't get to spend as much time as I want to here. Hopefully one day that'll change and can spend more time down here. But the magazine has got all kinds of stories from different people about our past and the rich tradition. I don't know if there's anywhere in this state that has as much tradition. And some people call it folklore, but we'll take that too. Clay County.
Clay County has a very rich history. Some good, some not so good, but it's still our history. But you mentioned our magazine. My wife, Liberta White, is in charge of that. The magazine is made up of articles that are donated and contributed by our members. Mm-hmm. So all the articles are written by members of our society, and she does a great job of putting that together and editing that. It's quite a job. She spends quite a few weeks on that before it's actually published in the spring and fall, but it's an award-winning magazine, and rightfully so. It's as nice as any one I've seen from any society in our state.
Oh, it is, and just all kinds of great information. You have done a couple of books the society has that also, we may add, has been recognized nationally from award panels. And first one was The Clay We Were. And when I got my hardback, I think I've ended up buying about 4 of them, but the hardback copy, simply amazing. I mean, it is so amazing. And I had a chance to kind of sneak peek over a course of time some of the pictures and photographs you all were going through, checking out to put in the book. But it is simply amazing, and it's something that you'll pick up once, you'll go completely through it in about 3 hours' time. Then about a day later, you'll pick it up, and you'll continuously pick it up because there's so much. We all are represented in that book in some shape, form, or fashion with family members. The days gone by, and we all love nostalgia, and we love to remember what the good times were. And I guess that kind of, in a pictorial way, defines most of the good times that we remember here.
It's quite a publication. It's more than 1,800 photographs. We spent more than 3 years collecting and compiling those photographs from citizens who brought them in. It's a large book. It's a coffee table book, but it's not just a picture book. A lot of societies publish just a picture book. We weren't satisfied to do that. When these pictures came in, sometimes we would know everyone or everything, every object in the picture, and sometimes we would not. And so as we were putting this book together, we researched each and every picture and identified as many people in the picture and their parents and their grandparents, and put all that information under that picture so that in the future, if somebody, and we do it quite often here, wanted to find out some information about someone, that book is a treasure trove as far as not just photographs, but the information, the captions underneath each photograph. And that's why the publication was recognized as the publication of the year by the Kentucky Historical Society, and by Acclaim Press as their book of the year for that year. It is so much more than a picture book. That's the essence of it and the basis of it. But the printed information that goes along with those pictures is something that people will enjoy and refer to for generations to come.
When I bought mine, I went home, looked at it, and honestly, I can honestly say this. I was flipping through the pages reading, and there is a picture of my mother when she was a little girl and some of the siblings that was born at that particular time with her grandparents. And I thought, wow. And I had never saw that photograph before. Then my mom wanted the copy, so bought her a copy, and she said that she could remember having that picture taken, but had never seen it since it was taken and developed back then until now. And it's probably, I don't want to tell her age, but I'd say probably some 73 years ago the photograph was. So, for me it was a learning experience, and I thought that was kind of neat. But the second book dealt with folks that certainly some of the heroes of our county, true heroes, some of the men and women that have fought for our country. It's published another book.
Well, we found that in producing and developing the first book, it was so large and it included so many pictures. We started with more than 11,000 pictures, and we just could not cull it down to anything less than 1,800 for the one book, and that was omitting all of our military and veteran photographs. And so there was like 600 of those. So rather than, it just made the book too large, so we produced a separate volume with veterans and nothing but military information from our veterans here in Clay County. And both those books have been super popular. I think we've sold more than 800 of the big book, and probably around 400 of the veterans book. So they've both been very popular, and we're proud of them. But what you was talking about a minute ago about your photograph, Earl, of those 1,800 photographs that are in that book, I would say a minimum of 500 of those photographs are one of a kind.
Yeah.
That was the only photo that existed. Mm-hmm. So we've taken one photograph, and now that it's in a book, there's 1,000 copies of that photograph. So that photograph will not be lost, down through the generations. And some of these photographs were they were in pretty bad shape.
Yep,
they were pretty fragile. We dealt with a company out of California who did photograph restoration. We had many of those photographs digitally restored. Some of the better ones we had colorized even, that are in the book. So we did everything we could to make the photographs as high quality as possible, because many of those photographs are more than 100 years old. No photograph in there is past 1960. So every picture there is at least 60 years old. And like I say, the majority of them probably border on being 100 years old. And now they're preserved for generations to come because we did that book.
Have an opportunity, if folks haven't gotten those books, you can certainly stop by here on a Thursday when the Historical Society is open. Do have a Facebook page, got a website as well. Those books are available, and several other books that feature Clay County authors, and then some other authors out in the state that have done some work on Clay County. The Historical Society is certainly the place where you can find those as well. And I think Facebook, it's just Clay County Historical Society.
It's the Clay County Genealogical and Historical Society. That's the Facebook. Our website is clayfamilies.org. And on our website, we have a school store, not a school store, but a society store where you can shop for publications. We have more than 70 books that are either about Clay County or written by Clay County authors. And we get orders every day. We come in here and fill orders that people have placed online for these books. And we're continuously filling orders and shipping out books almost daily here. But any of those publications, they make a great Christmas present.
Absolutely.
And I'll just put that plug in there. But we sell quite a few books here, and many of them are sold online now on the clayfamilies.org website.
Your work everyone that's here is all volunteer, and we talk about the books and some of the other merchandise that you can buy. Proceeds from that, a portion of them, help keep the Historical Society going, the museum going, because there's a lot to cover here. But people that are a part of this all do this volunteer.
That's
You
right.
come in because you have a passion, you love your county, your city, and you all work collectively together to pull this off. And I tell you, this is a huge undertaking.
Oh yeah, it's quite an organization, and of course, when you enjoy success like we have, and you become larger and larger, the larger the organization, the greater the amount of work. But we have about a dozen volunteers that are dedicated, passionate. They're here every week. We're all retired professional folks from various fields of business. It seems as each one of us has a little bit different area of expertise. One may specialize in cemetery locations, one may specialize in genealogy, but there's hardly anyone that comes through that door that has a question that we're not able to answer. But that's the secret to the success of this organization, and probably any organization, Earl, is the amount of passion that the people who are running it have, and the volunteers that we have here, they're second to none. They love history. They love Clay County history. They're very knowledgeable about it, and that's the secret of our success is our people and the passion that they have.
I think it's $20 a year memberships.
$20 a year for membership. That'll get you 2 magazines. Those magazines are about 72 pages each. So that $20 will get you discounts on merchandise and research materials, and you'll receive 2 of those magazines a year, and probably the best $20 that you could spend as far as value is concerned.
Absolutely. I mean, if you bought the magazines in a newsstand somewhere, you're going to spend $20 easy, probably more than that. The museum is open. We've talked about that. The magazines, and $20 you can be a member. Other projects I know that you guys were wanting to do. COVID-19 has kind of might have stopped a lot of those. There were some plans earlier about doing some tours across the county. I'm sure that's going to be picked back up probably in 2021. Recently, there has been some interest shown by the Clay County, Manchester Clay County Tourism Commission purchasing maybe the old jail. When I say purchasing, I think the Clay County Fiscal Court has agreed 99 years, $1 a year. I think in technical terms, that's what governments have to do. They can't just give you something. But you've also been invited maybe to kind of do that, and our old jail could get a little facelift in the coming weeks, months.
Well, it's sort of funny, Earl. A couple of years ago, we started learning that many historical societies around us, neighboring counties, other ones throughout the state, were having to close.
Yeah.
They notified us their membership would be as less than 15 or less than 10, and we're just going to have to close our doors. And here we are, thriving. But we realized early on that just as a research library, given the popularity of the internet and the access there, you're sort of limited as to what you can do. And we knew as a historical society, if we were going to thrive and prosper, we had to be involved outside our walls here.
Yeah.
And so, thus the publication of the book. This year we have fall tours, history tours. We do have that scheduled. It's a little shaky, iffy because of the virus right now, but those are scheduled in October. We posted those a couple of weeks ago. We posted the tours on a Wednesday at noon. By Thursday at noon, one day later, all 32 spots were sold out.
Wow.
So those, we're excited about those. We've just completed a project in partnership with the City of Manchester, the historic banners that are on the buildings downtown.
Which are beautiful.
We have an interest in the old jail, and we went and presented to the fiscal court, and we've been in touch with the Tourism Commission, and between the 3 of us, we're going back and forth now, but we're excited that something may happen with that facility. Selfishly, we're interested because it's one of our most historic buildings. It's one of the few buildings we have left with some brilliant architecture to it, and we just didn't want to see something happen to it as far as destruction or demolition. But we're excited about the direction that that's going and the possibilities there. So you will see the Historical Society. Yes, we have a physical presence here and an address, but we will be active all throughout our county with different projects, and we have other projects lined up for the next 2 or 3 years down the road. We're never short on ideas here, so we'll be involved in our community, promoting our community, and we'll be promoting it through the history aspect of it. And like we did the banners and the tours and the old jail, we're telling the county story and the history of the county through different projects, and we're very excited about what we've done and what we're going to be doing.
Well, we certainly will be back for another round here in the next little bit. We'll come back and chat some more and show you more of the museum, show you more of what the Historical Society has to offer. But as always, it's been my pleasure here on Cats TV. You can catch us on Cats TV and also the Southeast Kentucky Network. You can look that up on Facebook. There's a direct link that will get you into YouTube and across the world. I think it's, I know it's going to be shared on the Historical Society's page and other pages as well, but tap on, you can watch them anytime. They're going to be there. We're going to be constantly playing this on Cats TV 2, our local cable television here that is dedicated to Clay County and Manchester. But we'll be back, and in the future, we'll talk again with Mike and some members here of the Historical Society, and also we'll be bringing you on the air some more of the museum and some other special things to come. Mike, it's been my pleasure, and I'll say thanks for inviting us to this beautiful facility this evening and taking time out of your schedule to be with us.
Well, we're certainly glad that you all came. We're thrilled to be able to promote our facility anytime we get a chance. Let me just say this. With school being virtual right now, might be a good time for students who love history or even their history teachers to have a chance to stop by some Thursday and visit our museum. We would love for students and teachers and educators alike to see this, and we had planned on coordinating some tours, some educational tours this year. Don't know how, if that's the virus is going to allow us to do that, but nevertheless, any Thursday, educators, students, come by. Anybody come by, but especially those folks. And we'd like to thank you all for being here and welcome you back anytime.
For Eddie Smith, Mitch Hawkins.